Saviors Cloud City. Welcome on into a review on Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. It's DatCloudGuy again, and we have yet another review being thrown your way. This time, it's on Tainted Grail, the best, jankiest SOULS-BLIVION to date. For those that don't know what Tainted Grail is, it's a dark imagination of Arthurian legends based around King Arthur, Excalibur, and the Holy Grail. This game does take place 600 years after the fall of King Arthur. Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon is a dark fantasy first-person RPG that plays like Oblivion or Skyrim, but has some Soulsy tendencies, which we'll touch on that further into the review. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's move on. Just so you guys are aware, we did pre-record some gameplay. It's just going to be me just running around. We're checking out the maps. I'm showing you guys, the 3 different zones and roughly how big the map is here. But I'm going to start things off by saying this game to me honestly feels like the full launch was rushed. Now, why do I think this? Because a few patches after launch, they changed our HUD. They updated our health, mana, and stamina bar to match the art of the game. Now, my thing is, why did we wait until full launch to change that? I mean, I'm not bitching about the change. Not one bit. The change was good. I liked it. I immensely liked it. It just, I don't know, it just kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth, The menus were okay. Really nothing to write home about. So obviously we're kind of reviewing the user interface. Like you can kind of tell, the menus, there's a lot. There's a lot of different things you can kind of click through and check out. But all in all, I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10. Now, when it comes to gameplay, combat, and enemy variety, now I absolutely had a blast with my spellcaster. The magic in this game is really good. It's really flashy. It makes you feel like a badass. You go into a camp slinging spells left and right, one-shotting everyone that comes at you is absolutely fucking insane. I had my spell power at the end of this playthrough. I mean, obviously I could have had it more, but we had it high enough that we were just one-tapping everything. We were one-tapping bosses. Now, I also did start a second playthrough, and we did like a stream on that, which we're dabbling with a rogue. So dual wielding with the daggers feels great. I did thoroughly enjoy that they added, or that they have a dodge mechanic. Like, we normally don't see that kind of mechanic in a FPS RPG like this. Like, not too often. The other cool mechanic that I liked was that we could parry with the dual swords. So to me, it seemed like they were trying to bring in more skill-oriented gameplay, which is kind of why I was like, hey, this is like SOULS-BLIVION, like, we can focus on parries, we can focus on dodges and blocks and all these cool mechanics. But anyway, moving on. Tainted Grail is still buggy when it comes to the combat area. I had one big gripe, one big thing to note in this. Now, obviously, I keep my reviews spoiler free. So during a certain boss fight, this boss would do a one-shot mechanic. And those of you that have already played this and done a lot of the side quests, you're going to know exactly which boss I'm talking about. So they would try to hit you with a beam attack. Like you go into this dream, you're fighting these enemies, and they would go into a beam attack. But the thing is, you didn't see the beam. So like, I don't know if the game just didn't render the beam, or if it's just some sort of special ability that the boss had. All in all, that needs to be improved. Like, them being able to one shot and kill you but yet you don't see the attack for you to dodge. I feel like that's a huge oversight. But anyway, overall exploration was fun. The only big gripe that I have in that area is that the fall damage doesn't make any sense. So let's say I would drop from the top of a rock or a small cliff, you know, maybe like a 10 feet drop, you know, I would lose half a health bar and die. Then let's say like I went for a faller drop, right? Or a further drop. I would lose 15/16 of my health bar. But wait, this time I survived? Like, there's no rhyme or reason. And in a game like this, you know, especially in a semi-open world exploration game, fall damage needs to have a rhyme or reason. Like, why did I die to the 10-foot drop, but to the 15, 20, or even 30-foot drop, why did I survive that when I had only a 16th of my health bar versus half? You know, I just feel like there's an oversight there. Now moving on to the next thing, we're going to talk about enemy variety here. There are plenty of different enemies and enemy types in Tainted Grail, depending on the zones you're in. For example, first zone like this, you got zombies, drowners, skeletons, redcaps, grinlows. You got bandits, you know, plenty of bandits, plenty of different bandit leaders to take on, plenty of different bosses in the caves. You know, there's enemy variety. It's great. I love the enemy variety. Boss fights were great. I mean, until you started one-shotting them. I only ran to maybe a few bosses throughout the game that were recycled. All in all, and I'm gonna give this area a 9 out of 10. This is the best part of the game. You know, combat, gameplay, mechanics to that, enemy variety. That's what made this game fun. It made it worth the playthrough. It made it worth the 60 hours that we put into it. Now onto music, or the lack thereof. I truly didn't vibe with it. Like the exploration music was probably the saving grace here. I liked that as you were like walking around and, you know, exploring and killing bandits and stuff like that. That was enjoyable. But then like going into like boss fights, and you know, I think there was only maybe like one boss fight that I was like, oh hell yeah, dude, this slaps. So I gotta give music a 5 out of 10. Gotta give music a 5 out of 10. Up next, we've got graphics and environment. Now, the biggest complaint here, and it's not just me, we've got to talk about optimization. In combat scenes where I'd have 5 wolves summoned and I'm slinging spells left and right, I was coasting at 60 plus frames per second. But yet, when nothing's going on and we're just walking around without summons, without any enemies, why are we only getting 40 to 45 frames? So, because I was curious, I checked the game out on the Xbox Series X. Same thing. I had a couple buddies that were playing it on PS5. They experienced the same issue, you know. The optimization is just it's rough, and you know, game's been out for a month. You know, you would kind of hope that the optimization would be a little bit better. Now, the one thing that I didn't experience that my buddies that played on console experienced, they had a lot of crashes. I didn't experience a single crash. I don't know if it's because I was playing it on PC or what, but we didn't experience that. So moving on to the environment of Tainted Grail, we had 3 different zones, each that had multiple biomes, which included like beaches, lakes, rivers, caves, mountains, all that we could explore. I feel like this was well versed and a saving grace to what made the game enjoyable to me. Now, I know in the mini review I did the last or in the last episode of the Let's Play, I was saying 6.5 out of 7, or 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. Now that we've taken the time to kind of sit back, reflect on the game, I think I'm going to have to bump it up. At the end of the day, I'm going to give the game a 7.5 out of 10. It's insanely fun, but it still needs polishing. And seriously, in my opinion, I don't think it was a finished project. A finished product. I still think they're going to have more to come. But there's a lot of things that I love. Like I love the skill trees. I love all of this, the build variety. It's all great. And you know, it definitely has done justice to the genre. Like there's things in this that I wish Oblivion or Skyrim had. Like the game is good. It's just missing the mark. I think the guys should have just let it cook a little longer, just a little longer, and this game would have blown my mind. Would have absolutely blown my mind. I think it's worth the buy. I mean, we're looking at, you know, 40, I beat it in like 45 or 50 hours, I think. So, you know, that's not 100%. So, you know, we're looking at, what is it? MSRP, we're looking at, it's like $45. And that's if you don't catch it on sale. It's actually on sale on Steam right now. But 45 to 50 hours. And I did, there was a couple parts that I was like, man, this is really dragging on. This is really dragging on. But for that price point, it's worth it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead, wrap this on up. Was planning on like a 20-minute video, but I kind of burned through that fairly quickly. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll have more reviews coming your way. This is actually only my 3rd review, so we're going to be obviously any game that I'm going to be playing from now on, I'm going to be doing reviews on. Doesn't matter if it's old or new, because I want to perfect the craft on typing up reviews. So please let me know how I did down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.